everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in for our post-match reaction show of Liverpool 3-0 winners against the Foxes tonight at Anfield. Liverpool's home record gets even more stretched. Absolutely fantastic. It's been about three and a half years since Liverpool last been beaten at Anfield in the Premier League. But joined by Mickey Flyers from Planet LFC and Connett from the Cop Council tonight as well. Make sure you do head over to the lads' channels. We'll leave the link in the description as well, and hit subscribe here as well if you're new. Get your thoughts and your comments in the comment section below as well, Reds, and I will read them out in tomorrow's official, obviously, Twitter reaction show. So stay tuned for that. But lads, thank you for coming on. Liverpool, just real speak, and Mickey joined me on the call as kind of everyone at home. What a fantastic performance overall. I think it's been a very long time since Liverpool have played that well, even though we played very well this season. But I tell you, that was probably one of our best performances of the season. So, Connor, mate, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it's got to be up there. I think probably Atalanta was probably the best this season, but this is up there with it. Going into this game, I think a lot of Liverpool fans were nervous going into it because Leicester, if they had won tonight, they would have gone top of the Premier League. And I think, everyone was going, oh, Leicester look like they could be challenging for the title yet again this season. And, you had rival fans saying that, oh, Liverpool are done for this year because of, the injuries to Gomez and Van Dijk. But again, we prove everyone wrong. Underestimate us. Please underestimate us, because look what we do when we get underestimated. We slap Leicester 3-0 and, it was a dominant performance. It wasn't one of these like 3-0 wins where we get 3 counterattacks and win. It was dominant football. I think on XG, I think Liverpool was like 3.43, and it was up there. It was even more dominant than our 4-0 win against them on Boxing Day last year. So overall, absolutely fantastic performance from the Reds, and joint top of the league. Could be worse.
Yeah, what a start. Absolutely spot on there, as always. Mickey, we were saying the sheer amount of injuries Liverpool have got currently on, obviously, the injury bed at the new KB Academy at the minute, mate. It's frightening how well we still are playing, considering, obviously, we haven't got our 2-star world-class centre-backs, but that's detriment and credit to the lads that have stepped in tonight, and obviously had James Milner playing right back, who I thought was possibly, for me personally, one of my man of the match shouts, because he didn't put a foot wrong, and the delivery for some of the goals as well was absolutely Trent-esque in terms of that. We know he's got the technical abilities to get the ball into the box and on the top of Bobby's head anyway. But who impressed you, Mickey, tonight? Really, you had to pick a couple of players, and we impressed with the debut players, obviously coming in, obviously with the likes of the injured players with Milner there. Obviously, Curtis Jones, he played very well yet again. And let me know your thoughts, Mickey. I was very impressed with James Milner.
Yeah, Milner made some great passes, but the player that really caught my eye was Fabinho. How he ran the defence again. He's not the quickest, but he was always in the right place at the right time. Mate, it could be a masterstroke moving into centre back. You know what I mean? He was pretty dominant tonight against Vardy, and I was really impressed. Matip's looking good as well. It's a clean sheet, which we haven't done very often this year, and we were all dreading that ourselves, thinking like we might have to score a few goals to get forward. But we dominated the game. Bobby's form, as we know, hasn't been the best of late, and we've all got back behind him. Come on, Bobby, let's get back. Tonight, throughout that game, he was started off poor, and he slowly but surely he was fighting to get his confidence back. He was that close scoring that goal, but I think that header he scored then at the end, we'll see a different Bobby in the next game. He looked towards the end of that game back to his normal self. I think a few more games, and I think he's going to be pretty dominant. I was a little disappointed with Mane today. I think his shooting was a bit off. That's my only criticism of the team is our goal difference is quite poor because of the Villa game. We should have won that 7-0. No doubt about that. We should have won that 7-0. How many times did we hit the post, the crossbar? Yeah, and obviously the ball like that. but we do need the goal difference. Hopefully now this is the beginning of where we start to turn the screw on teams and start to score some goals. It's a great opportunity now. Go top with Spurs. I can see Spurs being real challenges to us this season.
Yeah.
I think City have lost something. I think City are gone.
Yeah. They're so interested in talking about us, aren't they? Everyone here, lads. They're just within the Reds, really. And I'm just looking at the stats off camera here, Reds. Obviously, Liverpool registered 24 shots to Leicester's 11, with Liverpool registering 13 shots on target to Leicester's 4 on target. And as Connor said at the top of the show, dominance was very much evidence as well in terms of Liverpool's possessional play. 58% possession to Leicester's 42. And absolutely, Mickey's hit the nail on the head. Another man of the match shout as well. He's going to be up there from everyone's. Fabinho, I felt, obviously, me, Connor, and Mickey have been speaking off camera this week, and everyone probably when you've been at home with your family members and your mates on Twitter and all that, you're like, Vardy, he had such a great start to the season, and the way in which Fabinho tonight just marshalled him. And considering Vardy, he gives a lot of Premier League defenders a big headache in terms of his attacking, playing his inside and outside running, getting in behind. But we've seen the likes of Lewandowski being the back pocket of Fabinho, obviously Jamie Vardy as well tonight. But Connor, and everyone at home, let us know your thoughts on Fabinho. Connor, what really impressed you tonight on in terms of Fabinho's performance? Any other defenders really that stood out tonight?
I think just the control that Fabinho has. He can just walk in there and be like Virgil van Dijk really in controlling all of the defense, and it's so pleasing to look because I think all of us look when he plays in midfield, he is one of, if not the best defensive midfielder in the Premier League. That's without a shadow of a doubt. And then he walks into playing centre back and just it's been like if he's played like that all of his career, which to be fair he has in many respects. He played there for Monaco, played the right back as well for Monaco for a huge period. But I think now Fabinho has kept 4 clean sheets out of 5 while playing at centre back for Liverpool. I could be wrong with that, but I think that's a similar stat. But another defender for me that I think I'm going to give man of the match to is Andy Robertson. I think he has been up there for player of the season so far for Liverpool. He has been absolutely fantastic. 80 odd minutes, still running up and down that pitch, giving everything for that badge. And, all of us thought that he was going to be injured for this game. That was, again, Klopp, and the medical team, did fantastic to get Robbo fit and ready for this game, which was fantastic. But yeah, Bobby Firmino as well. He's had criticism throughout the season and towards the end of last season as well for his goals. Obviously, we all know what he does for this side. He does so much more than just score goals. But I agree with Mickey. I think now you might see the old Bobby Firmino. The Bobby Firmino that got 28 goals throughout a season, and it's going to be very interesting to see. Maybe Klopp might go ahead, go and try and score every single game because realistically he does give up a lot of his opportunities to Bobby and not Bobby, Mo and Sadio, sorry. And for me, I think that is what he needs to be more like now. He needs to be a bit more selfish to get his goal tallies up for the season. But for me, yeah, Andy Robertson for me, absolutely fantastic throughout this game.
Yeah, absolutely spot on there, Connor, as always. Everyone, I hope there's no thoughts on that delivery for Diogo Jota anyway. What a fantastic delivery that was. I tell you, we're so used to him doing that, but it's absolutely fantastic seeing him, especially obviously the delivery that was missing from Trent. Yeah, Milner had a fantastic game as well, but I was evident everyone talked about Trent attacking play as well, but when Andy's whipping in the deliveries like that, and as Connor said, it was a slight injury concern, but obviously he was fully fit, obviously due to him playing a lot of international football over the last 2 weeks anyway. The first goal Liverpool scored was off of Johnny Evans' corner. It was a bit his right there. The X-Man scoring. I think Patrice ever said at half time. I don't be bleeping out any words anyway, but it was absolutely lovely to see that. I don't think he'll be happy after the game, but that was a weird goal, that one, Mickey. It was a floated ball in from obviously the corner, and then I think on commentary, Everton Lundberg was saying his positional play, he kind of did get it right, but it was just the connection and obviously the Liverpool forwards anyway in the box just caused an absolute mayhem. And really, Carragher, I tell you, Carragher on commentary was saying he's nearly catching up to his own goals in a game. But yeah, no, it was the Johnny Evans goal, and obviously Jota with his goal, whipped in delivery from obviously Andy Robbo, and as the lads have mentioned, Bobby Firmino. It was been interesting. Everyone at home, let us know your thoughts. Obviously, the role in which Bobby did play tonight. Obviously, with the absence of Mo Salah anyway due to COVID, we've seen Bobby more or less dropping a lot more deeper, and it was just left up to obviously the two pivots up top, and obviously Mane and Jota anyway. But I think Leicester, I'll ask Connor this now, Leicester really did struggle really to pick up Bobby Firmino from the deep areas. I think Liverpool, due to the players in which he did have in midfield, obviously like to Naby when he was on, Ginny as well, and then obviously Curtis as well, and to add to that, obviously Bobby Firmino. So it was given that bit of an extra man in midfield, and it was really giving the opposition defenders and midfielders questions really. Do we pick up Bobby or do we pick up one of the midfield players really? What did you think about that, Connor, in terms of obviously the dropping from Firmino tonight? We've seen him do it a lot over the last couple of months, obviously due to when he's not been on the top of his form, but as Mickey and you've said tonight, he was absolutely on top of his form, and to really see him adapting that role really as we see Salah come back in the next coming weeks, or do you reckon he'll play the way in which he did play tonight, or vice versa? Or obviously it just depends on obviously formations, if Liverpool do go to a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3.
I think it's good to have the options available. You know, you can. I remember, like, I think everyone will remember when we signed Takumi Minamino. We were all like, oh, you know, Liverpool could end up, you know, going from like a 4-3-3 to a 4-2-3-1, you know, inside the game, and I think that is the advantage we have now with Jota. You know, because Jota, you know, let's face it, you know, he's absolutely fantastic. You know, getting another goal tonight, and it does beg the question, you know, does Klopp, you know, when Salah is coming back, you know, does Klopp, you know, keep to the 4-3-3 or does he change it? You know, he changed it to play against City. You know, would he go 4-2-3-1 against the majority of the teams? I think so, maybe. But then I could also see him then going just plain old simple 4-3-3 and then bringing on one of the front four then, or the Fab Four, if you want to call them that, you know, to bring on an impact. There's so many options now for Liverpool, and I think all of us before the season, I think all of us were struggling, you know, and thinking like, oh, if Liverpool don't sign anyone this season, you know, this side might struggle with injuries. And now, you know, with the, you know, addition of Thiago, you know, we will come back, you know, in time,
Hopefully.
and you know, hopefully, and the addition of Jota, you know, it just adds so much quality for Liverpool. And we've still got, you know, Taki, we've still got Divock Origi, we've still got Shaqiri as well, even though, you know, he likes to be injured every 10 minutes.
If you can find him anyway. He just goes an Aldi a couple of weeks.
But the one thing I was very surprised though for the game was how Leicester didn't really, like, 2-0 going into, you know, the second half, how they never really threatened us. You know, they tried to get behind us and that, but they never really looked threatening. And I think that is, you know, not having that extra striker that's actually quite, you know, vicious. You know, they've got Vardy. Yes, Vardy's one of the best strikers over the last couple of seasons, you know, in the Premier League, but they haven't got anyone else. Like, they brought on Under the Turkish winger, and you know, normally they would bring on Iheanacho, but Iheanacho for me isn't good enough. You know, and this is why, you know, I'll never thank him for that miss against Man City like 2 years ago. But you know, it's for me, it was a bit surprising that Leicester didn't come at us as much and try and go all out though, even though they were 2-0 down and losing the game. Yeah,
that's absolutely spot on there, kind of. I was obviously when I was looking at Leicester tonight, he's spot on there. Mickey, we as off the back of what Connor said there, were you surprised how much I felt? Let me know, you two and everyone at home. Do you reckon Leicester was showing Liverpool yet again for another game against Liverpool, giving Liverpool a lot more too much respect, considering how well they did play against Manchester City? Obviously, they did have a lot of injuries, Leicester, but obviously that's not detriment to the way in which we played. We made them play that bad anyway. But were you surprised by the performance by Leicester, or did you?
To be honest, mate, I thought Leicester were a victim of our pressing. They didn't know how to combat it, and Leicester are a good side. There's no doubt about it. They have destroyed some teams this season. They look better than last season, even though they've lost some players. Yeah, they look good. That Mendy in midfield, I really like him. I think he's a good player. I just think our pressing, they really struggle to get, because they like not to have the ball. That's their game. That's how they play. And they hit you on the break. But every time they tried to get forward, we were there. We were like a wall. Credit to Klopp and his tactics on that one. I don't think Leicester played bad. I just think they couldn't cope. They started. There was a period in the second half where they started to get out. They started to get used to pressing, but I think we'd relaxed off a bit. But when we realised they were getting a bit dangerous, we turned it on again, and then it sort of, the game changed again. So it's pretty tough. It does drain the players how we press, but I think our players are now fit enough to do it, and everyone, you know, going forward, the new training ground, the kids are all going to be learning this as well. So I don't think whoever slots in this team now, I'm not going to be worried now. Our opponents can say what they like, that we're not going to win anything. Let them keep saying it. But today just goes to prove, was it 9 players out?
Yeah.
And we're going to do that to a good. That Leicester City side's better than the side that won the league for them.
Yeah.
It's a lot better. It's a lot better. We've just shown them up today.
Yeah.
We did a good job again. We did a good job at City. You know, I know they missed their penalty, but in that game, we were by far the best side. Yeah, I know. Towards the end, we both decided points enough. Yeah, but going forward, I really do think Leicester got it wrong. But we got to mention, do you know what record Jota broke today?
Was it 4 consecutive home games on the bounce for any Liverpool
He's the only
player?
Liverpool player in history to score in his first 4 Liverpool home games.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing.
The only player in Liverpool's history. And you think how the players we've had in our history, Roger Hunt, Ian Rush, Robbie Fowler, Michael Owen. And everyone laughed at us for buying Jota. They did, like they did with Salah. Now everyone's going, what's going on?
Yeah.
You know, they're going, they found another Salah. And you think Jota today played out of position. He played on the right.
Yeah, he can play anywhere, like, can't he? It's frightening, like how Klopp does it.
Salah is going to struggle to get back in the side.
Yeah.
The only thing going for him is we're now entering a period where we are going to play 2 games a week, and there is some times where we're playing 3 games in 9 days. If you add the FA Cup, so Salah will get games, but whether he's going to be first choice now, I don't know, because I think Jota at the moment, out of all the front 4, Jota's the one that gets ticked in, doesn't he?
It's absolute carnage with the fixture pile up, isn't it? It's going to be crazy.
But it's the same for every single club.
Yeah, every single.
Yeah, especially those that are in Europe. I expect to see a different side on. Is it Wednesday we play Atalanta?
I think so.
Yes. Yeah.
Expect to see a little bit of a weaker side.
Yeah.
I think we'll probably win that 1-0 or something silly. It won't be a good performance. We've got to get these points in. We've got to get these goals scored. Tottenham are looking good now.
We're smashing them now. We're focused on us.
Listen, we all laughed at Mourinho at United and all that and whatever. But the bloke's a serial winner. Yeah, he knows how to win titles. He's got them now playing. He's taken Pochettino's team. He's moved a few players in and whatever. And he's now getting a team that couldn't play for him into playing his way. And I think, in a way, he's improved Kane and Son because they look unplayable.
So do we all that. And doing to stop us.
This is what I'm trying to say is, stop looking at City, stop looking at United. Let's look at the threat that's there now. Tottenham are not going to go away. That's the game that we've got to watch this season. We need to win them 2 games against Tottenham.
Yeah, I tell you, like as me and you and Connor have been saying all week. I think Liverpool, it's top of the show. We said we got so many injuries. Everyone at home. I think we'll see a big picture come January and February. Obviously, with all the fixtures anyway, and who will be the runaways? Will it be Liverpool? Hopefully, fingers crossed. Keep on playing like we have done, and touch wood everywhere, in the house, everyone. We don't get any more injuries really. But I tell you, if the lads can stay fit, and that, as Mickey and Connor said at the top of the show, just regain this partnership, and obviously we've got Trent coming back in a couple of 2-3 weeks anyway. We don't really want to rush him back, but if we continue to just keep on grinding and Liverpool grind out these wins, and really, I think I'm so happy with tonight's performance, Reds. And I think Mickey and Connor have been phenomenal performance. You can't say enough words really to describe it. I put on my Instagram story just before the game, I said, massive game. It is always. We always say that against Leicester, don't we? Because they're a very well established run football club now. They have been over the last couple of years anyway. They're a very good attacking team, but huge points considering everyone was talking about them possibly getting a top 4 place. But thank you very much, lads, for coming on. You've already, just quick recap, everyone. Connor, who would you say quickly? Who's your man of the match? I think you've already said it anyway, but who's your man of the match?
For me, it was Andy Robertson.
Andy, how about Mickey?
Fabinho.
For me, gotta go James Milner or Jota for me, mate. But yeah, thank you very much, lads, and thank you very much for taking the time out tonight, Reds. I think Connor's got a video up on the channel in a little couple of minutes anyway, so head over to his channel, subscribe as well, and just get involved in the show. But thank you very much, Reds. Hope you're all keeping safe and well. But yeah, Reds go marching on, breaking continuously records. But see you later, lads. Everyone at home, keep safe and well, and we'll see you tomorrow for another video. You never walk alone.